As promised, I'm bringing you an update on what happened yesterday in the Kilmar Abrego Garcia hearing in Greenbelt, Maryland, in Judge Zenas' courtroom. Partially, the hearing was closed out to the public because of covering secrets, and I was unable to attend because I double booked my time. However, I do follow various different reporters that report what's going on word for word in hearings as they're going on, and also the hearing is available. So in a nutshell, when we last spoke, if you're new here, my name is JJ Legal. One of the things I do is help people understand the 200 plus lawsuits that are being filed against the Trump administration and give you a sense of calm to the extent that the courts are actually slowing them down. But we're playing whack-a-mole. Every time a court knocks down the Trump administration, they do another executive order, or they suppress rights someplace else, or they do what they were told not to do. And so it's really an exercise in futility, but for the most part, it's slowing down the aggressive, shock and awe agenda. Anyway, I digress. Back to the case. So in a nutshell, under discovery, where the parties exchange documents and answer questions and have to depose, which essentially means interview the other side, there have been some interviews. However, the Trump administration, in its ongoing effort to obfuscate and sort of lie about why they are not doing what the United States Supreme Court told them to do on I think it was April 19th or something like that, to bring Kilmar back and facilitate his return. Judge Zenas is the district court judge that is overseeing that, and she's been asking since something like early April, since like April, to put on the record what they've done. And for the most part, what she said is that it's trash, it's caca. They put nothing on the record. So rather than just do a contempt order, or start the process of finding them in criminal contempt, which essentially would amount to causing whoever's not doing what they're supposed to do to be prosecuted in criminal contempt in her court, she's first trying to identify and create a record. I think she wants to create a thorough record if she's going to go this route. And she's given them essentially an opportunity to participate and actually do what they're supposed to do. But instead, they keep claiming what's called state secrets privilege, which is a privilege that allows the government to say, for national security concern, we can't really share with you, the judge, or share in the court. And also, the other side had already posted where Marco Rubio had said, I'm not going to tell a judge nothing. So she knows that they're doing the above and beyond to not be open and honest to the process, and to the extent that they're doing what the Supreme Court told them to do. Because she said that on the record. Marco Rubio said he's not telling the judge nothing. So, yeah, they pop off in social media and news accounts, and then when they come to judges, the attorneys for the Department of Justice are arguing one thing and say, no, we're participating. Yeah, we're totally going to do this. And then you have Kristi Noem saying, Kilmar's not coming back. And Pam Bonnie's like, he's not coming back. And Donald Trump's like, he's not coming back. But they have an order for them to return him. And interestingly enough, I want to get back on track, is that she's expressed frustration, and this is what she said about the state secrets privilege being invoked. Here in the summation of the hearing by, I think, Washington Post or New York Times, this is where Zenas says, each of those depositions to varying degrees were an exercise in utter frustration. The state secrets privilege ordinarily they have to disclose, to which there's a national harm, harm would cause a national security. The Justice Department lawyers argue that disclosing this information would discourage foreign governments from working with the United States government. But here's the thing. But as what she pointed out, and the lawyers for Abrego Garcia also pointed out, is that in the declaration that Judge Zenas actually forced them to put on the record, Marco Rubio, they did not specifically say what is the harm. What specific is the harm? And in normal cases, when they invoke the state's privilege in history of court cases, there's a specific identifiable harm, and they have none. It's because they don't have anything. They're lying. And there was another privilege that was evoked, where essentially saying that it's like work product, that in process of us getting and doing all our work, there's a lot of lawyers involved. And we, as the Department of Justice, is essentially the lawyers for the government in front of courts, can't share that. However, there is a way to overcome that privilege. If it's the way you overcome that privilege, meaning where it doesn't count, or you could actually disclose information, if it's found that there is misconduct. The Department of Justice lawyers were like, well, there is no misconduct, but here's what's important. He admitted, he said, we did mistakenly send him over. It was administrative error. So this is the second time the Trump administration lawyer said that Kilmar was sent for administrative error. The reason why I point this out is because the last guy who admitted that, they fired. But anyway, he says, but that doesn't count as misconduct. To which Judge Zenas said, are you telling me seriously with a straight face that you had a warrantless, baseless seizure of a person off the streets in my state and the country, and it's not government misconduct, because they try to say, well, you know, we sent him off, but that was an error. But you also detained him, so the misconduct is there. So yeah. And of course, Kilmar's lawyers pointed out this here, that the government has repeatedly publicized information, and in their publication of information in congressional record testimony, public interviews, social media posts, they're saying that we're not bringing them back. And also, there's no public national security concern because they're putting this all on the record. In a nutshell, she was essentially saying, I'm just gathering information, and discovery is going to help me establish the record of the facts. If y'all are not going to put records of the facts, I'm just going to have to do what I have to do, right? It seems like they're just trying to evoke state secrets privilege to avoid judicial scrutiny of their actions. I am like a lot of people who are essentially frustrated that she's, keep waiting and laying the groundwork for contempt, where we're all of like, there's obviously contempt. She mentioned that she told them to do an update, and she said today or yesterday that all the updates has been essentially like nothing. It's like caca. You're not updating anything. You're just playing around. They're really, really silly. So she has enough to indicate that they are obstructing, and they are not being candid to the court, and they are actually showing contempt to the court by not taking the courts serious. And there's been no effort whatsoever to do anything to bring him back. There's another update in another case that Kilmar is implicated. And also, I should let you know, if you didn't watch my other videos, Kilmar is, and what's happened to him is being brought up, and is actually in many, many cases, beyond his cases, and a lot of cases related to the Alien Enemies Act in New York, in Colorado, in Texas. The judges, when they decide to grant preliminary injunctions and grant class certifications, they are all pointing to the fact that the irreparable harm, in order to get a preliminary injunction, you have to show irreparable harm. And each of them point out Kilmar, that's an example of irreparable harm, because here's somebody who left and didn't come back. And also the other 162, whatever other people that are there that are not gang members, that have no criminal detainers, that their only offense was being a paperwork crime, and a paperwork offense, which is not even a crime, because I always say immigration enforcement is not a criminal action. It is something that's civil. So you're not going to have people in the jail that done no crime. It's a crime against humanity. And the International Criminal Court, as I mentioned in the previous video, has started investigating this action, what's going on. They're investigating El Salvador, which is party to this lawlessness, and the United States government. Now, the United States government, Donald Trump has removed us from the International Criminal Court under the UN, but El Salvador is still there. They're still getting funding from the UN. So at some point, El Salvador may be like, all right, United States, it was great, but we can't risk our money doing what we need to do, and we're sending these people back. And Drew Ensign, the last time, it said when Kilmar comes in and presents himself to the board, they're going to allow him to enter. Don't mind, Christy Nome said if he enters, they're going to send him back out. There's process. The minute he enters, there'll be a lot of people on their backs to make sure that he does not get sent right away without process. And also, the Supreme Court already told them you can't send nobody else out under Alien Enemies Act. So once he comes in, unless, they've been willing to like ignore the Supreme Court, we're close to, some people say not a constitutional crisis yet, but this is like, it's as close as it's going to get. It's going to get closer there, but yeah, it's the problem. Anyway, so that is the recap, what happened on yesterday. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So in a nutshell, she says that, she gave them one more chance, there's a lot of chances, to state unequivocally what is the basis of claiming those privileges. Like, she wants more details. Like, I need details. And yeah, I said, I don't know what else you're going to do after this. So she gave them a deadline to provide details. They don't have any details. There's nothing there. This is just kicking the can down the road. I don't know if she's hoping that at some point in another jurisdiction or another judge or some way, somehow, they give up. Because it looks like this is like a political pawn for them. Kilmar's a political, is a cultural martyr in a sense. And so it seems like he's just being a tool. It's like whoever blinks first, and they don't want to give him up, even though they've already admitted he shouldn't have gone over there. And watch my next video. I'm going to tell you not only that, the whole basis for which him and other people are gone there is like, it's fake. And I don't know who falls for it. There's a lot of people who's falling for it. There's a lot of MAGA, 77 million people. They're still on board. So it's just like, but a lot of people see through this bullshit. JJ Legal, share this video, tell other people to follow along, and yeah, know your rights. Check me out, jjlegal.com. I have other goodies and resources there for you to help you track all of this and keep up and know your rights.